And we're here obviously for one reason and one reason only, and that's justice for George Floyd. So make some noise.
Woo!
Don't believe it, make some noise. The honor who killed their vote on trial starting Monday. So the reason why we put this event together is we want to see that same energy we saw last summer. I can't speak for all of you, but the death of George Floyd is the reason that I got into activism to begin with. So with that being said, I need the same energy we saw last summer, this spring, going into this summer. Because we have an opportunity in 2021 to see change. We have an opportunity to convict the police who murdered this man on camera. There's no excuse for that. Alright, so that's the reason why we're here. Also, we want to shed light on victims of police brutality that are here in Massachusetts. We have the families of Chris Gibbons and Moses Harris. I'm not going to go too much into their story. I'm going to let their families speak their story. Because who better to speak their story than them? So again, make some noise for the families. We've also got organizations that have been fighting for social justice and equality against all forms of oppression. Speaking at the end, we have Blue Crown Blue Dime, we have Solidarity North Shore, we have Black Boston, we have Refuse Fascism, and obviously, of course, we have the Freedom Fighters Coalition. So make some noise for all those groups. Okay, so before we get started into the speakers, we're gonna have a moment of silence, where we can all just think, be in the moment, and just really realize why we're here. So we're just gonna have a moment of silence. All right, thank you so much. Make some noise for George Floyd, y'all. All right, so we're gonna bring up our first speakers, and they're here to tell you about a tragedy and just a story that downright don't make no goddamn sense. Okay, and it happened back in December, and we need to shed like national light onto this story because this shit is out of a movie and makes no sense. So everybody make some noise for the Moses Harris family, y'all.
Alright, so early in the morning of December 19th, 2020, Moses Harris allegedly jumped into the Concord River after an attempted arrest by Lowell PD. Lowell up north from here, like 45 minutes. He's been missing ever since. The Lowell police are not providing answers to my family and I, and they refuse to release a police report and provide a complete video footage of the incident. They're also currently investigating themselves, which is totally unacceptable. Right here, I have a petition and a fundraiser that hopefully will pass around so that more people know about this. Because what happened to my brother is unacceptable and honestly just outright disgusting. And to make matters worse, that Lowell police refuses to have body cam footage and car camera footage and refuse to even speak to us at all. And while I was taking this time thinking about my brother, I actually, before when we were younger, he was really into rap and we would write poems with each other. And this was the last one that I worked with him right before he died. Grateful for him. When I thought of the grateful, well, I pondered gratifying and hateful, back into my memories enlightening with such a passion for brightening, the inspiring and the inquiring. But in fact, that it was swishing. What could there be more purely unrushing? Golden glow, golden glow, golden glow. Drying and drying with my joy, instead I uncovered their ploy. It's the prestige, I muttered. Death shall bring hues to cover me with daisies in a single rose. Insecurities and failures juxtaposed. Do you like tissues? While I pondered, unpleasant and diffused, Grandiloquence only for me, grandiloquence only for you. Still its ghost against the tone. You warned me about the dry measure. So warn me about the devotion. Love and knowledge are as guilty pleasures. I threw my self-respect on the floor, back into my memories pleasuring, and the endometrium measuring. To orate light that I adore, to orate light that I adore. In there stepped a tremendous accomplishment of the endomas that are treasuring, firming and firming with my credibility. Quote the street cred, mind the believability. While I pondered your inutility, in there stepped an entertaining arrogance, and the excellence never smiling, as someone gently rewiring. The character witness seemed happy, dryly. Eagerly, I looked for the self-sacrifice. Instead, I uncovered the distinctiveness. I looked for the enjoyment. Instead, I uncovered the fealty. And its eyes of all the desiring. How they were siren, acquiring, transpiring, with such a passion for brightening. Effulgent swaggerness, effulgent swaggerness. Love you, Moses. And that's it.
Make some noise for Moses Harris, y'all. Again, that happened in Lowell. Lowell's not that far from here. That shit makes no sense. So when we leave here, I need everybody to go home and just Google Moses Harris and just read up on the story. We have the family of Chris Divins, but oh, right here. Did you get your battery fixed? Did you get your battery fixed? We're working on that. We're gonna make that happen. Make some noise, y'all. This is the mother of Chris Divins. Again, like Moses, I'm not gonna tell his story. It's only right that Mom Dukes tells the story. But not only has her son been a victim of police brutality, but she also has been a victim of police brutality because she's fighting against the police brutality that her son faced. So again, make some noise for Janelle, y'all. Oh, Janelle operates off of energy. Make some noise for Janelle, y'all.
God bless you, young black royalty. Thank you so much for even caring. Look to your left and right. Look at the people around you who care. People care. No one is on an island of care on their own anymore. People are fed up. People are tired. Tired. You don't have to be black to be outraged. I'm not Asian. I'm outraged. I don't want anyone attacked on the street because of how they look. What if they're from Venezuela and they're not Asian and they happen to have that one physical characteristic? They get attacked? My son's name is Chris Divins. The Randolph police ran him over. I spent an entire week trying to compartmentalize and understand and figure out how I was going to digest, how I felt about it when I thought that it was a complete accident. If you Google arguing while black, you will listen to the audio soundbite and hear the audio recording of what they did to my son. And they changed the game, not me. I was minding my business. I got a son at LaSalle University. Do you know how much they're charging me so he can stay over there and make a mess and eat his weight? I don't have 5 minutes to give these people. I was over there every single day demanding answers. On day 62, they jumped on top of me and arrested me too. Like I shot 9 black people in their church while they prayed, but I didn't get a cheeseburger. And he didn't have a scratch on him.
Say that. Say that.
I'm not some natural enemy of the police. I didn't wake up not one day looking to bother them. But now they ran over my son. And apparently I am bothering them. Now I am charged with criminal charges. I have to go to court. March 11th, I'm going to be at Quincy District Court begging for my own rights. They want me to sign saying I won't protest, I won't demand answers, and no one else will. I didn't know I wielded such power.
Talk about it.
Say that.
Talk
Say that. Say that.
If I do, I'm gonna need 2 of those. What that run me? I have 3 sons. I have a grandson. The thought of them calling out to me with their last breath is enough to make me lay down and die right now.
Talk about it, my brother.
When we all heard George Floyd cry out for his mother, it was agonizing even to think the woman was alive. But to know she was not. I won't wait until one of my sons is using their last breath to cry out to me, living or dead. And nothing but death will keep me from making this right. They picked my son. I didn't pick their police department.
Talk about it.
Make some noise, y'all.
God bless every single one of y'all.
Make some noise, y'all. Make some noise. Again, when you go home, I need you to Google Chris Divins and just see the bullshit that's going on with the case. So next, I'm gonna bring up one of my favorite groups. This group has been fighting, trying to make police accountable for their actions and actually have to pay out of their pocket. And they've been loyal to FFC since day one. So I need everybody to make some noise for D from Blue Crown Blue Dime, y'all. Make some noise. She came all the way from Maine. Make some noise, y'all.
Hi, everybody. My name is Hidayah. You can all call me Dee. I'm the founder of Blue Crown Blue Dime. Thank you for being here today. Watching our community try to heal and come together after George's death has been simultaneously wondrous and absolutely heart-wrenching. It's been a lonely year, not because of COVID restrictions and quarantine, but because I've discovered how many people I've accepted into my life that were wolves in sheep's clothing. No matter what I said or did to try to explain, the responses were the same. I need everyone to do better. I mean 10 times better, and white people 1,000 times better. The amount that Black women are expected to teach, heal, and save others became so clear to me this last year. And I realized that I can stop. D, you're so angry. You should just stay positive, Block. D, I just don't see color, Block. D, why did you block me, Block? I need you all to see color. You not seeing color is, simply put, your refusal to see racial inequality. It means you don't want to see your unearned advantages or my general discomfort in the world around me. One of our oldest family friends who watched me grow up looked me dead in the face the other day and told me that you didn't see color. We've let these people get away with saying they don't see the full picture for too long. I don't want you to pretend not to see me. Acknowledge that I am different from you, then choose to still treat me with dignity, respect, and consideration. Refusing to acknowledge race while you systematically benefit benefit from it and we suffer is pathetic and disgusting.
Say that.
At this point, this mindset where you don't understand is just willful ignorance. All arguments about why Black lives don't matter are baseless. Just shrill insistence. The screams of fear of their ancestors pouring out of them now. Those who, after wearing our skin, stealing our teeth, and eating us, can't believe that we don't want revenge. But there is nothing to fear. We just want justice. We grew the fruit, we made the dough, we built the stove, we stood by bloodied and beaten while your ancestors took all the credit and sat down at a table we broke our backs making and took the whole damn pie. It's been a year. White people, I need a lot more from you. And I mean on a much smaller scale than big public displays like coming to marches.
Say that.
My white comrades are having a really hard time understanding that what they say is not what I hear. Your actions speak louder than your words.
Say that.
When you say, come on, D, I'm gonna have a sleepover with all my friends from my hometown and you can come too, I hear, D, be the next Tom Harrisburg. You say, D, come meet my grandparents. I hear, D, come meet people who were definitely alive during segregation and while your grandparents were being hate crimed and most likely didn't give a single fuck. You say, D, OMG, come hiking with us. I hear, OMG, D, come be alone in the woods with white people and become the next Bohawks Booker. These aren't isolated incidents. These are just incidents where the people got caught and it was put on the news.
Say that.
And you know what? They still got let go scot-free because they were white. So stop taking my hell nose personally. Instead, start providing more information. Start jumping down the throats of racists. Show up actively to do the work of dismantling white supremacy.
Talk about it.
Acknowledge the fact that your Mima is racist and respect me enough to not ask me to come meet and be polite to her.
Say that.
Step into my shoes and try to be the type of white friend you'd feel 110% safe going into the woods with. People try to act like racism has something to do with being conservative, but it doesn't. People also try to pretend like people are racist because of what time period they're from. But again, no correlation. There's no excuse. There were always people who protested injustice, who protested slavery and racism. They were ignored, mocked, and in some instances even killed. But there always was and always will be people who refuse to pretend like evil is okay with them. People who will always stand up for what's right and not when it's just a convenient photo op. It's hard for someone like me to understand the evil whipping around in their blood that won't even let them accept Black people as humans. Look at how so few people care about others. Everyone is all talk, but the proof is in the pudding. Look at how close this election was. Look at how a month before George's deranged murderers go on trial, police officers are caught sending around George Floyd themed "You Take My Breath Away" Valentines. Through their work emails, might I add. This circulating sick joke was described to CNN by an LAPD official as using an image of Floyd with the phrase, "You take my breath away." When Floyd died last May after repeatedly telling an officer, "I can't breathe," while the officer knelt on his neck for more than 8 minutes.
Talk about it.
In a series of tweets, the LAPD announced that they were launching an internal investigation into the image, saying they had zero tolerance for this type of behavior. Gee, do you guys think they mean that?
No.
A week after this Valentine's Day bullshit, the NYPD announced their great new addition to the force, DigiDog, a shuffling toy they claim will help them save lives. Guess how much of our money DigiDog costs? 20K? No. 40K? No. $60,000? No. $75,000 of our money. Police will do everything and anything but go to therapy.
Talk about it.
They mess up consistently with zero repercussions, and it really seems like there is nothing we can do. But there is. I had the idea for Blue Crime, Blue Dime back in June while I was at a march. I was marching and I was thinking about how Obama talked about how policy and protests have to work in cohesion. The most important thing to me is being radical and being realistic. I want change that I can see happen myself. How can I solve a problem without solving the larger problem of capitalism and fascism in this stupid and fucked up America?
Say that. Say that.
I realized that day that we're being robbed, not just of our livelihoods and our rights and our fucking lives, but also millions of dollars. Boston, we're getting full-on mugged. The Boston Police Department has paid $36 million for 2,000 cases against them within 10 years. But it's our money. They murder and brutalize us, and then instead of being held accountable, they just pay up in settlements. But it's our money. Breonna's family got paid $12 million from the city of Louisiana. Except when they say the city, they mean the citizens. They mean us. We pay. We also pay for the offending cops' legal fees, even if they're found guilty. All our money is being wasted on problematic officers. On Juneteenth of 2020, I decided that in our capitalist society, money was the best leverage we had. Police couldn't and wouldn't stop murdering and beating us, even with the whole world watching last summer. So what could make them behave with restraint? Money. This is where Blue Crime, Blue Dime comes in. Our solution is to prohibit monetary compensation for all police misconduct to be paid for with not our tax dollars, by ordering every police precinct to have their own private liability insurance. Blue Crime, Blue Dime isn't asking cops to change their ways, but I'm sure their ways will change once their actions affect their own pockets. Police being held accountable is one less hurdle for our descendants to jump in the future. One more barrier between us and their hateful violence. We have come up with a creative way to solve the problem without actually solving the root of the problem. And we've taken that threat of capitalism and flipped it on them. I challenge each of you to do the research and find ways to make radical change that can be accomplished in your lifetime. And most importantly, I want you to read up about the protests of the past. Look at what's already been done, because the answers to the future are in the past. So strengthen your resolve. Know that to make the progress we desire, we have to know what tactics our predecessors used and have worked and which ones haven't worked. If you're interested in working with Blue Crime, Blue Dime, come see me or just follow us on Instagram and get in contact with us that way. Thank you so much for letting me speak here today, y'all.
Make some noise for D, y'all. Alright, so we're just gonna do some real quick ground rules and then we're gonna have a grounding. Wow, I didn't even plan it like that. Alright, so first, marshals. Marshals, everybody that's a marshal, please raise your hand. Marshals. Marshals. Most of them have on a bright vest. Others don't. Those are the only people we're all gonna listen to. Okay? If anybody hears any stories about something up ahead, we're not listening to them. We're listening to the marshals. Alright? So everybody make some noise for the marshals, y'all. The second ground rule is if you're here, you're gonna be here. Okay? And when I say that, I say you're gonna pretend that George Floyd was your father, or your uncle, or your cousin, or your brother, or your son, or your co-worker, or your associate, or your neighbor, or you just know he's a good person. When I say all that, I say I need to hear you. For many reasons, I don't want to be loud, so I need all of you to take up that space. So make some noise if you're down to take up that space. Make some noise if you're down to take up that space. Alright, so we're going to have Mila come up. Mila's going to do a grounding. Mila is going to cleanse us of all the nastiness that we have to deal with and get our minds right as we walk. So everybody make some noise for Mila, y'all. That's not hard enough. Make some noise.
I'm gonna move some things around. Is that okay with you? Of course, like within the dynamic of the marshals, obviously keeping everyone safe. Can I ask all white and white presenting folks to move to the exterior or the back? That includes photographers and press. This is a Black story. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Okay, so before we leave, we have one more family of a victim of police brutality. His name is Burrell Ramsey White. Say his name. Burrell Ramsey White. He was killed by the pigs. I mean the police in 2012. So we're gonna bring up Miss Sheffield so she can tell you a little bit more about her son's story. So make some noise for Miss Sheffield, y'all. And everybody else, move back up, please. Everybody, move back up, please. Once we get protesting, we're one big blended family, so socially distant, of course. Again, make some noise for Miss Sheffield, y'all.
Wow. Thank y'all for allowing me to speak. When I walked up, I heard the young lady speaking. And her words were very powerful, and it resonated with me because my son was shot and killed by Boston police in the South End on August 21, 2012. His name was Burrell Anthony Ramsey White. We call him Bo for short. He was driving his friend's car. And according to the police report, which had 4 lines, it said, well, according to the police, it said that someone made a phone call, said someone was peering in the cars in the South End. But let me remind you now, I lived in the South End for 11 years. So they said someone was peering in the car, and they had a roadblock set up. I haven't seen any paperwork that authorized, whatever they set up and they pull over the cars. I haven't seen any paperwork on that, but they claimed they pulled my son over because of this call. They asked my son for his license. My son asked them, "Why are you pulling me over?" They refused to answer him. My son's window was down about this much. The officer and my son got into it because my son wanted to know why he was pulling him over, and the officer felt like he didn't have to tell him. Now, let me give you a little history. When the officer, my son was driving his friend's car, which was a gold Cadillac. His friend was in jail. When the officer pulled my son over, it was 2 officers. There was a black officer on this side of the car, white officer on this side of the car. They had a search warrant in their hand of the owner of the car, which had his picture. When my son and the officer were going at it, my son finally gave the officer his license. They couldn't be bothered to look at it. They passed the license without looking at it. This is from their mouth when we were in court, this is what they said. They didn't look at the license. He passed it to the other gentleman. He couldn't be bothered to compare the license to the search warrant that they had, to the warrant that they had in their hand. The officer tried to reach in the car and grab my son, and my son took off. He drove to Tent City where he lived and knew people would be. The officer began to chase my son. My son jumped out the car and ran directly into Tent City. The officer then, they had to catch the car because my son jumped out the car and left it running and took off to Tent City. Prior to this, my son had already said to me that he was scared. He felt like someone was following him. And I didn't pay that and he had to finish it. And I wish I had. Oh, I wish I had. My son jumped out the car and left it running and ran into Tent City. He ran into the teen center. Now this is a center that we all worked hard on when we lived there for these kids. The door was locked, so my son turned around and put his hands up. Both the officers was chasing him. The white officer was in front. The black officer was in back. He had on a green shirt. The white officer had on a red shirt. They were distanced from each other. When my son got in front of the door and the door didn't open, my son turned around and put his hands up. The officer shot my son and went down. The other officer came up. I wasn't there. I was waiting for my son to come see me. I got a call that says, you need to come to Tent City, something happened to Varel. Before I could even get in my car, they said, no, go to the hospital. When I go to the hospital, you can tell everybody was already aware that I was a parent of the child that just came in. They put me in this room, and a detective came in and introduced himself and said, I'm from homicide. The doctor came down, and the first thing she said to me was, I'm sorry. I didn't know until after I got the call. Now, I already had a lot of stuff going through my head because I was already hearing stuff from the streets. So when the doctor said that to me, it clicked in my head like, what call did you get? Had you got that call early, would my child be alive? And I still haven't gotten the answers to that. When my son was killed, there was a little girl who heard the commotion because it took place under her window. She knew my son's voice. She told her mother, Mommy, something's happening to Bo. When she looked out the window, she didn't hear anything. Everybody called me down there. But when I got to the hospital, they wouldn't allow me to see my son. They had already moved my son, but they were telling me that my son's hands were in the air. They shot him. They put handcuffs on him. They went through his clothes, through his pockets. They did not give him CPR. They then tried to say that my son fired at them, and they returned fire shooting my son, putting a hole in his chest. But then when the autopsy came back and there was no bullet hole in my son's chest, the story changed. Then they said my son got to drop a hold of the officer and took the gun from him and had a drop on the officer. Well, my son didn't have the gun didn't have my son's fingerprints on it. There was no residue on my son's hand that said he even fired the gun. The police did an investigation amongst themselves, solved their own case according to themselves, cleared the officer. My thing is, I feel like they did an investigation to clear the officer, not to find the truth. Point blank period. They kept saying, you're not going to get them in court, you're not going to do this, you're not going to do that. I got them in court. But when I got them in court, it didn't matter because the judge, the lawyers, the cops were sitting there in full blue dress uniform. Aren't you supposed to be out protecting and serving? Why are you sitting here covering up for? They had a witness on the stand that they paid for. He has never went against the police, but yet our taxpaying dollars are paying for this expert witness. One witness that they called in, which was a doctor, went against what the police said and verified my son having his hands up in the air, and then they began to treat her like a hostile witness, and they're the one who called her to the stand. They did so many things in the court that I saw, but if I was just a black, uneducated woman, they didn't count on me being educated. They didn't know I had a master's in criminal justice, and I used that to my benefit. They kept saying, you're not going to get your report, and I said, yes, I will. It might not have went my way, but my fight is not over. I am just beginning. It has been 8 years, and I have been going through so much anxiety. I work in the courts. I have worked in the State House for 11 years. So I know the games they play, I know the laws they make. You get to the finish line and keep moving the finish line, but we've had enough of that. And we can see in this day and age that everybody's ready for change. We are so tired. Well, I know I am. I am exhausted. So what I am going, they feel like they won. They said there's certain things that I can't say and certain things from my evidence that I can't release, but I am so tired of people telling me what I can and cannot do. You have kept me silent for 8 goddamn years and you have not did a damn thing for my son. I am getting ready to take every piece of evidence, everything that was said in court, and I am getting ready to release it. Pictures and all. I, Paula Sheffield, will be telling my son's story. The rally after the end of the story will be coming soon. And the only story that's out there right now is the police departments, and you're going to hear mine. Before I go, I just want to say this poem. It took me a long time to pick my head up off my pillow when my son was killed. 3 months after my son was killed, I wrote a poem. And I said, once I found out the officer's name, I was going to name this poem after him, but I feel like my poem is better than him. So it's called, Hey Officer. And it goes, Hey Officer, I miss my son. I miss my child. You took him from me and hid all the while. I miss my son's face. My heart's in a broken place. You took my son without my permission. Now I'm crying, fighting, and wishing that justice be served, because of nothing else is what I deserve. You pretend to protect and serve. You got a nerve. You carry a badge and gun, expect a brother not to run. You wear a uniform, pretending to be a cop. When he asks you not to, you raise your gun and shot. Now I'm left to wrap this around my head. That Boston police just shot my son dead. No words of comfort, you said nothing nice. I hope to hell this haunts you for life. A mystery shooter, I know it's weird. He shot my son and disappeared. It wasn't a child from off the street. It was Boston police that walked the beat. Oh yeah, you said he opened fire. But we all know that's cold, you liar. That's what your super told you to say. It makes it easier to clear you that way. Our children are dropping time after time. But to be shot by police, now that's a crime. Then to say his death wasn't violent, it was to me because my life was silence. As my story comes to an end, how do I tell my grandchildren police are your friend? You reap what you sow, and just so you know, as Burrell's mother, I will never let this go.
If I own this mic, I'll let you drop it. But I don't own this, so we can't drop it. Make some noise for Sheffield, y'all! Wow, that was great. Alright, so we're gonna get started. I need everybody to follow the directions of the marshals. I need some volunteers for these banners. So did anybody want to volunteer? I need at least probably like 10 people. Don't all volunteer at once, y'all. That's cool. I'll carry it on my back if I have to. We got any volunteers? All right, we got one banner taken care of. Okay, we got some more volunteers right here. This Freedom Fighter joint is big. We're getting
Thank you, turn to the Allen Report. We're here in Boston.
We need this one. This one's the most important.
Protest. I don't know if you can hear me. We're about to take the streets and do some walking around.
Thank you for my breakfast.
Stay tuned.
Anybody need some hand warmers? I got hand warmers on deck. Anybody need hand warmers? No? Okay, I got hand warmers on deck. Are we all good on the banner? We need one more. Okay, I think we're good. One more person. There we go. All right, real quick house rules. So the order is going to go the banners, then the truck, and then everybody else. Okay? So again, the banners, the truck, and then everybody else. One more time. The banners, the truck, and then everybody else. We do that for safety. We need everybody to stick together, no big gaps. Okay? Huh? Are you rushing for the hand warmers, all right? Everybody, this is Ari, one of the co-founders of the Freedom Fighter Coalition. Make some noise for Ari! Shine, /4.
Protesters are about to take to the streets here. Stay tuned. Feel free to super chat. This is not free. This comes all out of my pocket to get to these events to document. Just keep that in mind. It is cold out here, guys. Cold out here in Boston. If you anyone who's viewing from outside the country, if you want to come to Boston, I highly recommend it, but do not come in the wintertime. Come in the summertime where you can walk around without your hands freezing. We are in Boston at the Boston City Hall here for George Floyd protest. This is a nationwide protest. They have a protest in Las Vegas. That's going to be happening later. They're about 3 hours behind us here in Boston. Yeah. We're 3 hours ahead. So, and some other places too, New York. It's cold out here, guys. So basically, guys, we're just kind of standing by right now. I'm gonna see some of your comments. I had the comments off. I don't really like to, speak too much during these events. So let's see. Yeah, Beam. Definitely, anyone in the Boston area, come out, show your support, or just it's a protest. Anyone has the right to come out and be here. I don't know if anything tomorrow in Boston is going to be going down, but I found out this event. They had some flyers at Harvard University saying that at the Government Plaza at 4:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time there was going to be a march. They're running a little late today here, so we're about to take the streets now, and they're about to march around, and so we're going to document. Oh. But it's super cold out here, guys. Oh my goodness. But yeah, hopefully when we start moving, I'll be able to warm up a little bit, get the blood flowing. I don't know if anything in Boston's happening tomorrow, but if anyone's coming out here right now, we're at the Boston City Hall, and any minute now we're going to be taking to the streets. I don't really know the route we're taking, I don't know if we're gonna end up back here, but that's where we are. That's what we're doing. So shout outs to the Allen Report. We're out here documenting. Thank you. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, let me know. 22Q, it's hard to say, but right now everything's good. Whew. Some beautiful skyscrapers in the background. This is a really big city hall they have here in Boston. Been to a lot of city halls. I think the one in Buffalo, New York is one of the biggest ones. Okay, so it looks like we're taking the streets now.
I know, Banner's truck, everybody else. No. Is that the order? Yeah, Banner's truck, everybody else.
I'd be like, I need to get down.
Let's stop right here. Let's stop right here. I can't start the revolution. I can't stop the revolution. I can't start the revolution. I can't start. I got an announcement. My fault, bro. I didn't cut you off. All right, so look, if anybody gets cold while we're walking, we have gloves and we have hand warmers.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, can we get some hand warmers? If you need some hand warmers, come grab some, please. I know somebody out there has a whole stack of hand warmers and definitely didn't pass them out. If you do, shame on you. Hand warmer hoarders. Hand warmer hoarder. Again, remember, it's the truck. And then there's my friend Mateo over here. Y'all make some noise for Mateo. The truck. And I'm sorry, banners, truck, Mateo, people. Is that fair? We're gonna look out for Mateo. Mateo's gonna look out for us. Make some noise, y'all. Hand warmer hoarders. Shout outs to the hand warmer hoarders. Yo, I gave somebody a whole stack. I'm convinced they didn't pass them up. Straight. If we don't get no justice, we don't get no peace. If we don't get no justice, we don't get no peace. If we don't get no justice, we don't get no peace. What do we want? Justice. What do we want? Now. What do we want? country today. Raise your hands. Let's go. Let's go. Raise your hands. Let's go. That damn don't work. Burn this bitch the fuck down. Behind the truck, please. Shut it down! Shut it down! Motherfucking street! Our motherfucking street! Our motherfucking street! Our motherfucking street! No peace! No justice! No peace! Fuck these racist ass! Police! Fuck these murderers! Police! 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 No peace! Hold on, pause everybody. That man needs to be up here. This man is the reason why a mother was out on the street for looking to go. Alright, let's go. Y'all, let's go.
This is the out here on the streets of Boston. March for George Floyd justice. We have just taken the streets. Now we are marching, as you can see behind me. We are in the middle of the street. Doesn't seem to be much traffic, but they've taken to the streets. Stay tuned. The police are just exited the Boston State House. It doesn't look like a high police presence, but they are aware. They are on alert, and we'll be here as the night unfolds. Stay tuned.
George Floyd! We are the people too. A little bit louder, please. We want justice for our people. We are the people too. A little bit louder, please. We want justice for our people. We are the people too. A little bit louder, please. We want justice for our people. Oink, oink, bang, bang, every day the same thing. Oink, oink, bang, bang, every day the same thing. Oink, oink, bang, bang, every day the same thing. Oink, oink, every day the same thing. Oink, oink, every day the same thing. Oink, oink, every day the same thing. Bang, bang, every day the same thing. Oink, oink, bang, bang, every day the same thing. Cops in the clear. Cops in the clear. Go hand in hand. 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 Cops in the clear. Cops in the clear. Go hand in hand. 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 White violence is violence. 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 White violence is violent. 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 I said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Sorry about that. I do the same thing. I'm so sorry. No, I'm sorry. I know. I'm sorry about that. It is. The documentation is more important.
George Floyd! George Floyd! George Floyd! George Floyd! Justice! No! Justice! No!
So I'm just starting to see some police lights up here on the street ahead. The Boston Police Department seems to now be engaging. I'm not sure what the route is, but they are. The police are making us go one way up ahead here. So it's going to be interesting to see if.
Please be careful for those of you in the back. Go ahead, brother. ACAB, all cops are bastard. 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 ACAB, fucking George Floyd! George Floyd! George Floyd! Say his name! George Floyd! Say his name! George Floyd! Say his name! Say his name! Say his name! Say his name! George Floyd! George Floyd! Shut it down! Shut it down! Shut it down! If we don't get no justice, shut it down! If we don't get no justice, shut it down! If we don't get no justice, shut it down! If we don't get no justice, shut it down! If we don't get no justice, shut it down! If we don't get no justice, shut it down! If we don't get no justice, shut it down! If we don't get united, we'll never be defeated! The people united will 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 never be defeated! We'll never be defeated! The people united will 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 never be defeated! United will never be defeated! The people united will never be defeated! The people united will never be defeated! No justice! No peace! It's day! No justice! No peace! Fuck these racist ass police! No justice! No peace! It's day! Hit me! Put in jail! The whole damn system is guilty as hell! Put me! Send those killer cops to jail! The whole damn system is guilty as hell! Put me! Send those killer cops to jail! The whole damn system is guilty as hell! Put me! Send those killer cops to jail! The whole damn system is guilty as hell! The whole damn system is guilty as hell! The system is guilty as hell! The whole damn system is guilty as hell! The whole damn system is guilty as hell! It's done! Guilty as hell! It's done! Hit me! Send those killer cops to jail! The whole damn system is guilty as hell! It's done! Hit me! Send those killer cops to jail! Whose city? While you are watching, black people are dying.
All right, guys, listen. All right, guys, listen now. All right, guys. 1, 2. Mic check. Mic check. Black people, you still live here. Black people, you still live here. Fire, fire, catch your fire. Fire, fire, you still live here. Black people, catch your fire. Black people, you still live here. Black people, you still live here. Black people, you still live here. Fire, fire, catch your fire. Fire, fire, catch your fire. Black people, you still live here. 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 Fire, fire, catch your fire. Fire, fire, catch your fire. Fire, fire, catch your fire. Fire, fire, black people, you still live here. Black people, you still live here. Fire, fire, catch your fire. Fire, fire, catch your fire. Black people, you still live here. Black people, you still live here. Fire, fire, catch your fire. Fire, fire, catch your fire. Fire, fire, catch your fire.
KKK, no fascist USA. No Trump. No KKK, no fascist USA.
No Trump.
No KKK, no
Fascist USA. No Trump. No KKK, no fascist USA. No Trump. No KKK, no fascist USA. I said no cops. No KKK, no fascist USA. I said no cops. No KKK, no fascist USA. I said no cops. No KKK, no fascist USA. I said no cops. No KKK, no fascist USA. No cops. No KKK, no fascist USA. No cops. No KKK, no fascist USA. No cops. No KKK, no fascist USA.
Everybody on this side, unless you have a camera in your hand, I need you to come back behind the banner, please. Respectfully, we're in no rush. We are in no rush. Take up this whole thing. All right, let's go see y'all. Let's go. I want to hear you run,
We got the power. People power. We got the power.
We got the power.
What kind of power?
We got the power.
Who got the power? What kind of power? Who got the power? What kind of power?
We got the power.
Who got the power? What kind of power?
We got the power.
Who got the power?
We got the power.
What kind of power?
We got the power.
Who got the power?
We got the power.
What kind of power?
We got the power.
Who got the power?
We got the power.
What kind of power?
We got the power.
Who got the power?
We got the power.
What kind of power? People power. Who got the power? We got the power. What kind of power? Who got the power?
We got the power.
What kind of power? People power. Who got the power?
We got the power.
What kind of power?
People power.
Who got the power?
We got the power.
What kind of power?
People power.
Who got the power?
We got the power.
What kind of power?
People power.
Who got the power?
We got the power.
What kind of power?
People power.
Who got the power?
We got the power.
What kind of power?
People power.
Who got the power?
We got the power.
What kind of power?
People power.
Who got the power?
We got the power.
What kind of power?
People power.
Who got the power?
We got the power.
What kind of power?
We got the power.
Who got the power?
We got the power.
What kind of power?
People power.
Who got the power?
We got the power.
What kind of power?
People power.
Who got the power?
We got the power.
What kind of power?
People power.
Who got the power?
We got the power.
What kind of power?
People power.
Who got the power?
We got the power.
What kind of power?
People power.
Who got the power?
We got the power.
What kind of power?
We got the power.
Who got the power?
We got the power.
What kind of power?
People power.
Who got the power?
We got the power.
What kind of power?
People power. We Mic check. Yo, I love y'all a lot. When I say this, y'all, I mean this shit. What I'm telling y'all, we saying hands up, don't shoot. They gonna shoot us regardless. So Ahmaud Arbery fought back when he died. Hands up, fight the fuck back. Hands up, hands up, hands up, fight back, 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 hands up. Fight back! Hands up! Fight back! Hands up! 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 Show me what community looks like! This is what community looks like! Show us what community looks like! Show them what community looks like! Show them what community looks like! This is what community looks like! Show them what community looks like! This is what community looks like! Show them what community looks like! This is what community looks like! Show them what community looks like! Mic check! 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 Just say that! Justice Floyd! Justice Floyd! Justice Floyd! Justice Floyd! Justice Floyd! Vibe check, how y'all feel? Make some noise! Boo, 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 boo! No good comes in a racist system! No good comes Black lives, they matter here.
Black lives.
Black lives, they matter here.
Black lives.
It's a revolution. It's a revolution. It's an evolution. It's an evolution. Black lives, they matter here. Black lives, they matter here.
No liberation without revolution. 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 No liberation. 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 No
Everyone, please repeat after me. It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
We must love and support each other.
We must love and support each other.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
We must love and support each other.
We must love and support each other.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
Say his name! Say his name! Who do we fight for? Who are we marching for? Who do we fight for? Who are we fighting for? Say his name! Say his name! Say his name! Say his name!
Say his name! George Floyd!
Say his name! Say his name! Say his name! Say his name! Moses Harris! 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 Say his name! Moses Harris!
And for those of you who don't know, please Google Moses Harris!
Say his name! Moses Harris! Say his name! Moses Harris! Say his name! Moses Harris! Say his name! For those of you who don't know, who are enjoying your dinners, buying your beautiful luxury clothes out here, please take a moment to Google who Moses Harris is. He disappeared on December 19th. The Lowell PD claims that they do not know what happened to him. But in fact, he jumped into the Concord River. We don't know for what reason, and we don't know if he actually did it himself or if they murdered him. Please take a moment to just Google him.
Say his name!
Moses Harris! Moses Harris!
Well, thank you for all of you who are continue watching. This is a long, very long march. We are in the streets of Boston. George Floyd protest. See your comments right now. Hold on. See what you guys got to say. Hold on. Stand by. Thank you all for commenting. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for watching this transmission. We are on the streets of Boston, documenting a George Floyd protest. It's hard to walk backwards for hours, guys. So feel free to super chat. I'm gonna give you guys a sneak peek on what's happening here. Stay tuned.
Samantha, how are you doing? We love you! We miss you! We will keep fighting for you!
I'm sorry?
If you want to be part of the march, you're welcome to go. We're just asking people to stand behind.
Oh, I was in front, but I'm free to go. This is a public street. I'm free to go wherever I want. So I understand though you're trying to help. I get it. Thank you.
I can't breathe. I hear my neighbor crying. 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 I can't.
I hate it when people tell me what the fuck to do, but here's what it is. Gotta keep my cool.
can't breathe. Now we're in the struggle saying I can't leave. I hear my neighbor crying, I can't breathe. Now we're in the struggle saying I can't leave. I hear my neighbor crying, I can't breathe. And now we're in the struggle saying I can't leave. I hear my neighbor crying, I can't breathe. And now we're in the struggle saying I can't leave.
I hear my neighbor crying, I can't breathe. And now we're in the struggle saying I can't breathe. I hear my neighbor crying, I can't breathe. And now we're in the struggle saying I can't breathe.
I hear my neighbor crying, saying
I can't breathe. And now we're in the struggle saying I can't leave. I hear my neighbor crying,
I can't breathe.
and now we're in the struggle saying I can't breathe. I hear my neighbor crying,
I can't breathe.
and now we're in the struggle saying
I can't breathe.
I hear my neighbor crying, I can't breathe. And now we're in the struggle saying I can't leave. I hear my neighbor crying,
I can't breathe.
and now we're in the struggle saying
I can't breathe.
I hear my neighbor crying, I can't breathe. And now we're in the struggle saying I can't leave. I hear my neighbor crying,
I can't breathe.
now we're in the struggle saying
I can't breathe.
I hear my neighbor crying,
I can't breathe.
and now we're in the struggle saying
I can't breathe.
I hear my neighbor crying, I can't breathe. And now we're in the struggle saying I can't leave. I hear my neighbor crying,
I can't breathe.
and now we're in the struggle saying I can't
breathe.
I hear my neighbor crying saying I can't breathe. And now we're in the struggle saying I can't leave. I hear my neighbor crying,
I can't breathe.
and now we're in the struggle saying
I can't breathe.
I hear my neighbor crying saying I can't breathe. And now we're in the struggle saying I can't leave. I hear my neighbor crying saying
I can't breathe.
and now we're in the struggle saying I can't leave. I hear my neighbor crying,
I can't breathe.
and now we're in the struggle saying
I can't breathe.
make some noise for yourself. Make some noise for yourself. Black lives are under attack. What do we do? When black lives are under attack, what do we do? When black women are under attack, what do we do? When black women are under attack, what do we do? When black women are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When black women are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When black women are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When black lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When black lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When black women are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When black women are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When black women are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When black women are under attack,
What do we do? Stand up, fight back. I said, what do we do?
stand up, fight back.
What do we do? Stand up, fight back.
We do.
Stand up, fight back.
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When black lives are under attack, what do we do?
Thank you. Back up, we want our freedom.
From the river to the sea, Palestine. Wait. Racist ass cops, we don't need them, Black sky, black up, we want freedom. All these racist ass cops, we don't need them. I said back up, we want freedom. All these racist ass cops, we don't need them. Back up, we want freedom. All these racist ass cops, we don't need them. Back up, we want freedom. All these racist ass cops, we don't need them. My check.
From Palestine to Mexico, all the walls have to go. From Palestine to Mexico, all the walls have to go. From Palestine to Mexico, all the walls have to go. From Palestine to Mexico, all the walls have to go. From Palestine to Mexico, all the walls have to go. From Palestine to Mexico, all the walls have to go. From Palestine to Mexico, all the walls have to go. From Palestine to Mexico, all the walls have to go. From Palestine to Mexico, all the walls have to go. From Palestine to Mexico, all the walls have to go. All the walls have to go. From Palestine to Mexico, all the walls have to go. From Palestine to Mexico, all the walls have to go. To Mexico, all the walls have to go. From Palestine to Mexico, all the walls have to go. From Palestine to Mexico, all the walls have to go.
When I say black lives, you say murder. Black lives. Black lives. Black lives. Black lives. When I say black lives, you say murders. Black lives. Black lives. Black lives. When I say black lives, you say murders. Black lives. Black lives. Black lives. Black lives. You say murders. Black lives. Black lives. When I say black lives, you say murders. Black lives. Black lives. When I say black lives, you say murders. Black lives. Black lives. When I say black lives, you say murders. Black lives. Black lives. Black lives. When I say black lives, you say murder. Black lives. Black lives. Black lives. When I say my check. Yo, brother, come closer, Tina. We will. Tina, come. Tina. We ready. We ready. We ready. For 12. We ready. For what? We ready. We ready. For 12. We ready. 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 We ready. We ready. For 12. We ready.
We ready. Say what? Say what? We ready.
Thank you.
I said black lives, they matter here.
Black lives, they matter here.
So black lives, they matter here.
Black lives, they matter here.
It's a revolution.
It's a revolution.
It's a revolution.
It's a revolution.
It's an evolution.
It's an evolution.
It's an evolution. So black lives, they matter here.
Black lives, they matter here.
I said black lives, they matter here.
Sorry.
It's a revolution. It's an evolution. It's an evolution. It's a revolution. It's an evolution. Black lives, they matter here. Black lives, they matter here. It's a revolution. It's an evolution. It's a revolution. It's an evolution. Black lives are under attack. What do we do? When black lives are under attack, what do we do? What do we do? I said, what do we do? When black women are under attack, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? When black trans are under attack, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? When black kids are under attack, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? When black men are under attack, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? No justice! No justice! No justice! Take it to the streets and abolish the police! No justice! Bus 12, take it to the streets! No justice! Bus 12, take it to the streets! Justice! No peace! Take it to the streets and abolish the police! No justice! Bus 12, take it to the streets and abolish the police! No justice! Bus 12, take it to the streets and abolish the police! No justice! No justice! Bus 12, abolish the police! My check! My check! Somebody get the mic back to these beautiful women right here, these black queens. Make some noise. Make some noise for black women that back on every movie in America. Make some noise for black women that are original women. Make some noise for women post 8 billion people. Make some noise. So, in DC, we do this chant, y'all, and it's my favorite chant. The cops ain't here yet, but when they do show up, we say, even with that badge, you a bitch in the head. And even without that badge, you a bitch in the head. And even with that badge, even without that badge, and even with that badge, even without that badge, and even with that badge, and without that badge, and even with that badge, and without that badge, even with that badge, and without that badge. It's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 12. 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. Save me. Save me. My check.
Sorry.
Make some noise. Because if we can burn it down, if we built it before, we can burn it down and build it again. If we burn it down, we can burn it again. Like you don't want your table, you're sitting at our table because we built it for you. We want to take the fucking table back. Fuck these racist ass. Fuck these racist ass. Fuck these murdering ass. Fuck these murdering ass. Fuck these oppressive ass. Fuck these sexist ass. Fuck these homophobic. Fuck these overseers. There's a cop in the crib. There's a cop in the crib. There's a cop in the crib. There's a cop in the crib.
Thank you all for tuning to the Animal Report. This evening, we're on the streets of Boston with the George Floyd protest. Looks like the cops are in their vehicles following us. So I don't know where this is going to stop or what end or whatever, but the cops are definitely aware of what's going on. They're following us right now. I'm going to show you. It's kind of hard to show you with my hands shaking and stuff. Even with the stabilizer, it's tough. I'm trying not to walk on people. You guys know the deal, being out here in the streets, in the fields. So we're out here till this ends. So pour yourself a drink, roll yourself a doobie, order some food. We're in the streets of Boston, on streets of, I can't see a street name, but the cops are definitely, I'm gonna see if I can get down to the bottom here. Hold on. I'm gonna see if I can document some of the cops. A lot of police officers are. You have people from DC here, you have people from Maine here. So, oops, sorry, so sorry. Alright guys, let's get back to the top of this. It's kind of hard to talk at these events because you can't really have a different opinion here. So, free thinkers aren't really allowed. So, that's why my mouth is shut and we're documenting. Stay tuned. Just to give you an example, I had people tell me that I couldn't be standing, like documenting near them or something. It was quite bizarre. So I just told the lady, I said, listen, this is a street. I can be wherever I want, lady. So tough. So the police are following the protesters, or they're locking down the street. I'm not sure if there's another protest down there. But this seems to be where the action's at, so we're gonna stay with these guys.
It's just the skin that I'm in.
I said I love being black.
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 I love the texture of my hair.
The guy with the orange gloves is from DC, so seems to be leading it. Stay tuned.
I believe that we will win. 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 I believe that we will win.
I believe that we
Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people. Come on. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people. Come on. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people. Come on. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people. Come on. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people.
Everybody else fill in. Over here, fill in, yeah, over here. Over here, come to me, over here. Yeah, mic check. Everybody over here, please. Everybody over here. Fill in this space. Fill it in.
How are you? I'm sorry?
Black Lives Matter?
Yeah, it's a protest for George Floyd, and we're marching through the streets right now. Everyone, yes. Online it said George Floyd, but yes, for everybody, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. You a native of the area, ma'am?
34 years in Boston.
Wow. How do you... And out of those 30 years plus, how has Boston treated you?
Oh, it's been an amazing journey. From coming here, it was like the most conservative city, and I promoted to go to the store in Faneuil Hall, and the people that came there said, Rhonda, I think you should come to Boston and see if we like it. I said, where's the plane in my mind? So I came.
That's funny.
I love living here.
Well, ma'am, stay warm out here, okay?
I will. Thank you very much.
No problem. You have a great night. Here come the cops.
Our motherfucking streets!
Our motherfucking streets!
Our motherfucking streets!
Our motherfucking streets!
My name is Michael Kramer, and I am an abolitionist. On January 6th, I quit my job with the Capitol got attacked. I was protesting for black
That's right!
in days. I tried to quit my job on purpose. I had to quit my job on purpose to go fulfill my purpose.
That's right!
The reason why I talk about this today is because, to be honest, the movement for the past 10 months has been based on emotions. That's why we coming out and showing up for emotions. Look to your left and look to your right. The momentum. Can you hear me?
We got the batteries.
All right, so my name I drove 7 hours because as we look around, we look to our left and we look to our right, we can tell that the last 10 months of this movement has been based off of emotion. You know what I'm saying? And if we look to our left and we look to our right, the momentum is dying. But the momentum can die, you know what I'm saying, as they kill the revolutionaries, as they lock up the revolutionaries, as they oppress the revolutionaries. They can never oppress, kill, and murder the revolution. So that's why on January 6th, when we saw an attempted coup, when we saw an attempted coup, I quit my job on purpose to fulfill my purpose. Because as I was outside saving children, I had to think to myself that I'm out here saving children's lives, working for nonprofits and NGOs who are saving the most vulnerable kids in the world in all 7 continents. But they got whole businesses and whole Fortune 500s fighting for them. And black people have nobody but us. So if not me, then who? If not now, then when? If not when, why? Why get out of bed? How can you go to bed and go to sleep and know that black people are dying while you're dying? While you're dying, black people are dying. Period. So I came up here today because it's the only option. Unity is our only option. Standing in solidarity is our only option. If we have to love and support each other, we have to care another and deem ourselves as important. Deem this movement as important. Solidarity has no boundaries. Solidarity does not work on Instagram. Solidarity doesn't work state by state. Our unity is our greatest strength and their greatest fear. Because there's tons of niggas out there that think that we can't do this, y'all. They really think that we can't unify. They think we can't organize. But little they know, look around you. We're mobilizing. We're no longer organizing. We are mobilized. So that's why I came out. So that's why I drove 7 hours to be here with y'all today. Because that's the only option for us to stand together, fight together, arm by arm, hand by hand. Because it's going to take every race, ethnicity, gender, sexuality, and nationality to burn this bitch down and rebuild it our own fucking I am not holding abolitionist. I speak directly from my heart. I am not in the business for making white people feel uncomfortable. I am not in the business for making America feel motherfucking comfortable. Because every day, black people look out of their houses, look out of their homes, and feel uncomfortable. There's no safety in being black. Because you can be running down the street and you can be murdered. You can be in your own bed and you can be murdered. They can stand 8 minutes on your neck and no one can give a flying fuck. And you can take to the streets and you can have the biggest civil rights movement in history, which we are all a part of, in history. Black Lives Matter is the biggest civil rights movement in history. And Black Lives Matter protests are happening all 50 states have had a protest. And about 17 other countries have as well. So today, I want to stand in solidarity. I want to stand 10 toes down with y'all and stay in the trenches with y'all, because we really are in the trenches. They are really out to kill, seek, and destroy us. Yep. So it's only up to us to take care of us. Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe.
Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe.
Who holds shit down?
We hold shit down.
Who holds shit down?
We hold shit down.
Who fuck shit up?
We fuck shit up.
Who burn shit down?
We burn shit down.
We build shit up.
We build shit up.
Definitely black people, because everything you standing on was first thing given to us by Native Americans, by indigenous people. So thank you for you walking in their city. So indigenous people inhabit this land, black people built this bitch. And we don't want your table, talking from the abolition standpoint, we do not want your table. We're gonna work smarter than harder. Why go create my own table when I just built yours and served it to you on a silver platter? Yep. Matter of fact, I'm gonna smack the motherfucking dishes off the table and kick you the fuck off of it. I said that all to say this, my comrades, y'all look to my co-occasion comrades. You are no longer comrades. You are no longer, what's that word we use, allies? No. You are co-conspirators. You are part of the revolution. That means you need to take the time and the initiative and the talent that you have and the privilege that you have to put yourself in harm's way to protect black bodies, because black bodies ain't making it, y'all. They're not making it. Black girls and black women go missing every month. 3,000 black girls go missing every month. Every month. Black people die twice as high from COVID-19. Racism is the real pandemic. You know what I'm saying? We dying twice as high, but still the vaccines ain't being distributed to the people that are most vulnerable.
Medical racism.
So therefore it's medical racism, it's financial racism, it's economic racism, it's educational racism. So today, I want to encourage you today. I want to ordain you today that you are powerful, you are important, and you are strong enough to fight the militia. And I always do this because I speak directly from my heart. If you're a black man, please come to the front. If you are a black man, please come to the front. Come to the front. If you're black, come to the front. 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 Black men, come to the front. These people, these brothers, they not making it, yo. A black man is to see to get incarcerated once in their lifetime. Yeah. They are subjected to die in their lifetime. They say that we're not making it to 21. So therefore, we need to empower them and crown them. Even Jesus earned his crown in front of a crowd. So give them their glory and pay them their homage because they may not make it, and that's a bona fide fact. So I'm not gonna keep rapping for y'all, but Black Lives Matter every motherfucking day. While you sleeping, while you eating, while you dreaming, they motherfucking matter. And nobody will have nobody in this motherfucking world will have liberation, freedom, or equity until black, queer, indigenous, brown people have freedom, justice, and equity. We having a march on the 20th. I love y'all. We having a march in my city on the 20th. Pull up. Pull up. Because I say that because if all you can do is love people that look like me, if all you can do is support people that look like me, if all you can do is give money to people that look like me and finance the movement, because it is important. But if you ain't willing to fight for people that look like me, George Floyd could have been me. Trayvon Martin could have been me. Ahmaud Arbery could have been me. Sandra Bland could have been my sister. Breonna Taylor could have been my sister. Thank you. My name is Kevin Kramer. I'm part of the Palm Collective. Pull up. Make some noise for Will.
Is D here? Diani from Refuse Fascism?
Oh.
Diani.
Oh, damn. I was gonna...
Diani. Everybody make some noise for the fashionable Diani.
You go, Queen.
Make some noise for Diani, yo. For Refuse Fascism. They're outside every day and everywhere. Here you go.
Hey, everybody! It's so amazing to see all these beautiful faces out here. I love today. How do you guys feel? All right, real quick, I just wanted to say, as we go forward, I want to see you all in the streets. Okay, and I say it every day. Like my black man right here, I too quit my job. I quit my job this summer. I just was walking around one day, and I was like, yo, I encountered some people in Refuse Fascism in the park, and they were having a rally, and I just walked up, and I just started talking to one of the members, and they were, we were talking. It wasn't like I didn't know, what was going on. I'm very much into politics and things, I wasn't stupid, so I just one day, I was like, you know what, I went into work and sat down with HR, my manager, store manager, all that, and I was like, yo, either you guys are gonna work with me and give me the days that I asked to be out here in the streets, or I'm out of here. So these motherfuckers told me, oh, well, sorry, we can't give you what you're asking for unless you have COVID or have a kid at home. Those are my two options. So you know what I said? I'm out. And I was in the streets every fucking day. It's been almost a year. Okay? The insurrection, yo, I know. Oh my God. all of us out there. We were out there on that day, right? Well, weren't we, guys? And we were listening to it happening, on our earbuds and such. And I was like, yo, these motherfuckers really tried it. Now understand this. We're all sitting here today. What if they were successful? If they were that close? This would be looking at a different country. So what we have to do as comrades or co-conspirators is to get up, work with different groups. Okay, leave the egos aside. This is all about the fucking movement. The movement are out here. Do not forget, they are in Congress. We already know they're in the police department, but these motherfuckers have the power. So we gotta get together and people power. We gotta be out here. We need to be organizing every day. Anyway, I just wanted to say thank you for coming out. Do your work. Call your Congress. Be out here every day. You take a day, some time, an hour. If you live in Mass, and even if you don't live in Mass, call the governor about Moses Harris. It's some real shit. He just disappeared. There's no footage. Bullshit. I love all of you, okay? I want you all to say, Black Lives Matter! 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 I love you all. Thank you.
We're going to continue the theme of strong, powerful Black women. Next, we're going to bring Miss Aura from Solidarity North Shore. Y'all make some noise for Aura! That's my motto. Make some noise for Aura!
Alright guys, how are we feeling tonight? Can I get a vibe check? Can I get a vibe check?
Holding it nobody here, so give me a second.
He's running around.
Yeah! Alright. The fight for justice is endless. It is not bound today to this trial to George Floyd. It is not even bound to our lifetime. But in the United States and across the world, it is bound to the existence of Black people and indigenous people, to living and enduring the structures of white supremacy at its lowest rung. Justice does not exist to absolve the perpetrators of violence. It exists to mend and heal the generational wounds of the victims. It is about anchoring peace and making amendments. Tonight, this march is about making historical amendments to historically marginalized people who this country has been treating as resources to build its empire, stripping us of our humanity in its process. Amendments for George Floyd's life and the orchestrated centuries of violence that led up to its end. To honor his life in the best way we know how, to continue fighting. And fighting to bring about the justice he and 1,000 more police brutality victims across the United States, including Massachusetts, deserve. Yeah. George Floyd's murder embodied the true building block of the United States violence. And like justice, the United States violence is endless. It cannot end until this nation and the global exploitation it runs on ends. It cannot end until we resist all the lies that whiteness has created us to see us fall. Yeah! See, this fight is all about resistance. Yeah! Resistance from the violent narrative this country weaves, from the erasure of indigenous people and the land we stand on, whose simple existence and history delegitimizes the settler colonial state. Yes! Resistance from the labor and exploitation of Black people globally that began with the enslavement of Africans 400 years ago and continues worldwide to this day. Resistance from the prosecution of non-Christian religions and belief systems, from the attacks on the Asian community who have been used as scapegoats for the United States, for this country to hide from being held accountable, for the thousands of deaths, millions ill, and piling evictions this country's neglected response to COVID-19 caused. Overarching resistance against capitalism that has manipulated race, class, and religion to unleash harm for centuries. Resistance is the struggle of fighting against the millions of weapons that whiteness has had time to create years ahead of us, creating puppets to carry out its violence and orchestrating years of lies to keep us full of.
True.
Black people know this resistance too well. It is in our blood, it is in our history, in our birthright, in our lives. Fighting is never something we will be absolved of, because simply our features, our hair, and our skin will always remind us that we must oppose all that goes against us to move forward.
Yes!
Resistance is opposition against the United States. It is an opposition against the entire global north.
Yes!
Our
Speak
bodies
it!
are tied to being a collective and to collectively fight against all this country's violence serves.
Yeah!
The violence that keeps this false nation protected, that lets Joe Biden and Kamala Harris sleep at night as we destabilize nations and people, keep workers working, poor people poor, houseless people houseless, creating secure systems that keep instability steep. The United States uses the threat of harming us, of killing us, and of denying us. It's what polices our every move and the lives we build and the future we work towards. For the United States to fall institutionally, we must abolish its policing of our bodies, of our lives, and the guise of violence it is used to control us.
That's
to
right.
get straight from liberation, from unification, and from the peace of the collective. You see, the United States will never be at peace, because even now nature rejects it. She can feel that it does not belong, the life that lives under its foundations, demanding to be released. She knows this isn't of her. She knows the United States cannot own this land or people or lives. And above the law of this country exists the law of the living, of nature, that which governs our bodies.
There was just an accident in front of the protesters here. We're going to try to get a name and badge number of the police officers. Multiple cops showing up now. It has been a peaceful protest, as you saw throughout the live stream. We marched through the streets. There is a larger than normal police presence for a traffic crash right outside the demonstration here. So we are going to just stay filming for accountability, and if the officers do engage the protesters, we are going to get their name and badge numbers and just, you know, the deal. So appreciate everyone tuning in at home. Pour yourself a drink, roll yourself a doobie, order some food, because we're out here on the streets of Boston documenting. Stay tuned. I don't think anyone was hurt during this car crash or anything. It was just, you know, a fender bender, if you will.
were imposed on African people, we arose to resist. It's why they're so insistent on breaking us apart. It's why they continue to draw borders in our land and our identity, and stress that Black people internationally will never feel security, safety, and protection, as long as white supremacy and capitalism remains in power. It is why we never stop fighting. Even when most of you stop, not. Black and Indigenous people both cannot. It is why we must make an effort to build community independence of this nation. Mutual aid that keeps our people fed, our people housed, and our people financially stable without the infrastructure of this country. Organizing that keeps us visible in courtrooms, classrooms, and in the streets. Organizing that keeps us in houses, stomachs safe and protected. White people, non-Black or Indigenous people do not continue to be complacent in oppression. Ask what can you do to keep community protected and safe. Join spaces that are organizing against these oppressions and actively take part in them. When they try to keep us poor, we organize. When they try to keep us houseless, we organize. When they deny food and water, we organize. When they threaten existence and living, we organize. We fund and build shelters, community fridges, free stores, community bail funds, cop watch, crowdfund, community guard, and self-defense groups, and more. We show them that our existence does not and has never relied on them or the false infrastructures of this false country. That community keeps community protected. We feed each other, we house each other, we bail out each other, we create our safety. We are not protected by the violent policing of our lives, but rather by each other. So through this march, the upcoming protests, and the mutual aid projects existing and developing themselves, as I speak, we will organize to make this entire country obsolete. I'm going to pass the mic to Shimmy so he can introduce Yari.
Make some noise for Aria. Yari? Has anybody seen Yari from Black Boston? Yari? Yari? Make some noise for Yari, y'all.
First of all, before I begin, I'm not a big fan of open spaces, so if you guys could come a little closer. I know we're in a pandemic, but keep it distant, but keep it close. While we're in here. Alright, how's everybody feeling tonight? No, I can't hear you guys. How's everybody feeling tonight? So, good evening, comrades. When asked to come out and speak today, I found myself stumbling, struggling to find the words that have not already been said. I thought to myself, what can I reiterate that has not already been brought up in revolutionary context by the activists, warriors, and comrades that have come before me, that have come before us, that have laid down their lives for the sake of this movement, for the sake of liberation. Today we have all made the cumulative decision to gather together in remembrance of our fallen brother and comrade, George Floyd. We have chosen to come outside despite a global pandemic and stand against the systemic injustices reinforced by state-sanctioned violence. A fate that has been predetermined for Black people specifically and marginalized folk in general, since our ancestors were ripped from the very shores of Africa and negated their right to exist as full capable human beings 400 years ago. We've gathered here today because we remember the pleas. We remember the cries of George Floyd. As pig Derek Chauvin crushed his windpipe until he smilingly choked away the last breath of George Floyd's very existence from his lungs. We remember as George Floyd cried out for his mother, right before his life was amounted to another fucking hashtag. But the thing that we remember most, is being forced to watch. Is being forced to watch for 9 minutes. 9 minutes. Let me say that one more time. 9 fucking minutes. As Derek Chauvin's knee stood on his neck, while his murderous pig cohorts, Tooth Owl, J. Alexander Kuhn, and Thomas Tiernan Lay stood by and protected him as he savagely assassinated one of our own. Once again, the story continues. But what else can we expect from a country whose foundation has been rooted in our very oppression? a country that has flourished and been deemed a global power only through standing on the backs of oppressed people. Sometimes I get filled with rage, yeah. Sometimes I get angry, and then I remember that this is how this country was designed. To restrict us, to incarcerate us, and ultimately to kill us, and then continue to profit off of our exploitation. Because let's go through a little history lesson. Before the pigs were labeled the pigs, they were known as the KKK. Before developing into the KKK, they were known as slave patrols. And their roles were to actively catch black people, to actively catch slaves who dared have the autonomy to run for their lives. The slave patrols were set out to catch these slaves, bring them back to their master, to work themselves to death, all for the sake and the benefit of the oppressor. Does this sound familiar? Does this sound familiar? Yes. Because if not, they were trained to shoot, to kill those black people who dare choose to stand against their oppression. But if this does not sound a little bit familiar, let's think about the U.S. prison system and the criminal justice system as a whole. Think about the way that once slavery was abolished, prisons and laws were codified and established to restrict black people from mobilizing themselves. And once the state and private companies realized they could make a profit off of their incarceration, the number of black people entering the carceral system dramatically increased. That is also when the media, as a tool of the state, painted black people as menaces, as thugs of society, as secret predators, as drug addicts. That is when we saw black people being forced back into the same conditions of slavery, only through a modern means. But they will not tell us about redlining and how they stuck black people and poor people into the ghettos, left with no resources to survive. And as a result, we're forced to find survival through another means. They will not tell you how the government placed crack into black and brown communities to stop us from organizing during the liberation movement, because they saw how much power the people as a collective had. They know how much power we have. That's why they want to kill us. They will not tell you how the FBI created the COINTELPRO, a counterintelligence program utilized to eradicate the black liberation movement flourishing in the 60s. One the United States government used to murder revolutionary leader Fred Hampton at the age of only 21 years old. They put 91 bullets into his home as he and the Black Panther Party slept. They were so fearful of what the world would do if all oppressed people came to understand the realities of their material conditions and see their true power. The United States will not tell you that the courts, the state, the police, and the military all have been used as tools to protect the bourgeoisie, the capitalists, who continue to profit off the oppressed, whose profit is protected by the men in blue, the pigs in blue, surrounding us as we speak, who seem to find their guns and their tasers and riot gear all too quickly to marginalize folks who come with nothing but their voices and picket signs, simply asking for the right to exist. While ironically, the pigs stayed silent on January 6th, as white terrorists and extremists stormed the Capitol, bludgeoned a police officer to death with a flagpole and a fire extinguisher, and looted a federal building. I wonder where their guns, tasers, and riot gear were then. So when people say, reform the pigs and carceral state, reform them, it almost sends a menacing shiver down many of our spines. How lovely it must be to be so ignorant, to think you can reform a system and murderous brotherhood that was designed to protect white supremacy and reinforce our enslavement. That seeks to blind us from the conditions of our oppression. But what have the terrorists from the Capitol riot and leaders of this imperialist country have shown us? What have they shown us? That our liberation is ours to fight for. And we do not, cannot, and will not get it appealing to the oppressor. Because let me just say this, when we protested peacefully, they continued to shoot us. When we protested peacefully, they continued to jail us. When we protested peacefully, Quite frankly, they continue to fucking kill us. But like Revolutionary Fred Hampton once said, you can jail a revolution, but you can't jail a you can jail a revolutionary, but you can't jail a revolution. I'm just looking at you for a second. I love you too. All of us who have gathered here today understand that the fight is continuous and liberation will not come without struggle. But we have come together, a rainbow coalition of comrades, because we refuse to be indifferent. We refuse to be complacent. We know that it is on us to continue to do the necessary work in protecting, standing up for, and radically loving one another, because this country won't do it for us. To ensure that we uproot this country by its core and bring about a new foundation, one not built upon oppression, one that is built upon revolution and thus abolition. But let us all remember, comrades, that revolutionary action is not linear. It is not linear. Whether it be the artist, whether it be the marshal, whether it be the poet, the rapper, the general, the intellectual, everyone has a role in this revolution, comrades. Find yours. I'm sorry, but let me say that one more time. Every single one of us has a role in this revolution. Find yours, comrades. Find what? Yours. Find what? Yours. Find yours. Find your role and live it passionately. My bad, y'all. My phone's off. Because this is the last part, and I want y'all to really know. Because they might try to say I'm inciting a riot like last time. Because at the end of the day, comrades, we will never achieve freedom appealing to the oppressor. You will never do that, right? Well, we can bet one thing, and they can bet one thing. That we will achieve liberation by any fucking means necessary. By what?
Any means necessary. Any means necessary.
By what?
Any means necessary.
By any fucking means necessary. They don't have a choice because you know why? If not, we'll just have to burn this bitch down.
Make some noise for y'all. You know what? That's cool. We got two more speakers, and I'm gonna get you up out of here. Up next, we've got Heather from Gang Freedom Fighters Coalition. Make some noise for Heather, y'all.
Okay, hi y'all. First of all, just a disclaimer. This speech is gonna be really emotional for me, and I'm kind of chanting, so please be patient. So first of all, I'd like to greet you all in my mother tongue and cultural Islamic greeting, which is Assalamu alaikum, that translates to peace be upon you all. Peace be upon you all, black queens and kings. Peace be upon all the allies and comrades that are here with us today. And peace be upon those who left us early as a result of state violence and institutionalized racism. In Arabic, we say, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un, which translates to God we belong, and to Him we shall return. There is a national and global outcry against white supremacy and state-sponsored racial violence against black bodies at the hands of police officers. George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery are a few black Americans who have been added to the long list of those who have disproportionately suffered and died at the hands of this nation's institutionalized racism and police brutality. Even right here in our own city of Boston, many black and POC families have suffered at the hands of the Boston police. Terrence Coleman, Chris Devins and his mother, Janelle Ambrose, Osama Rahim, and even Moses Harris and his family, who are victims of police brutality at the hands of the Lowell police. Along with countless other families, of course, in Massachusetts. We must fight for our freedom and the freedom of our communities. We demand that justice be served to these families. These are people who deserve full lives. They are civilians, not military personnel fighting a war. An unarmed father who didn't know that after his visit to a convenience store that day, he would never make it back home to see his 6-year-old baby girl. As they knelt on his neck for 9 minutes, and he cried out, "Mama, Mama," to his dead mother. Take that in. The heinous murder of George Floyd was not the first or last attack on all black people. This country's so-called justice system was founded on institutionalized racism and must be dismantled. The prison system is merely another form of slavery by keeping mostly black men and women incarcerated behind bars. This country took its way by force and genocide from the Apache, Arawak, the Navajo, the Comanche, the Sioux, and countless other indigenous tribes. They brought slaves to build their way of ease. This country was built on the backs of black and brown people. That is terrorism. This country has attempted to overthrow 51 global governments. We bombed the black civilian community of Panama with stealth bombers. We killed teenagers, unarmed fathers, hard-working parents, pregnant mothers. We bombed a plant in Sudan in retaliation for the attack done on our embassy. We killed far more than those killed on 9/11, and we never batted an eye. Killing black people has not only been a national threat, but also a global one. And the United Snakes of KKK seems to be taking the lead when it comes to setting a precedent and committing genocide against black people. America has supported state terrorism and apartheid against Palestinians for over 72 years. Palestinian activists have long supported black people's struggle against racism. When Angela Davis was in jail, solidarity coming from Palestine was a major source of courage for her. As she personally expressed, in Ferguson, Palestinians were the first to express international solidarity. They took to the streets of Palestine in support of Ferguson, in support of George Floyd, Trayvon Martin, and countless other black lives that were lost at the hands of police brutality. We have a profound responsibility to support Palestinian struggle. Black liberation goes hand in hand with Palestinian liberation. Let us not forget that there are 1 million George Floyds, whether here in the States or abroad, in Palestine, France, Belgium, Brazil, and countless other countries. Our struggles are interconnected, and we will never be free until we are all free. I will leave you all with this powerful quote by one of the greatest of all time, my king, my role model, someone I wish was actually my father, Malcolm X. We declare our right on this earth to be a human being, to be respected as a human being, to be given the rights of human beings in this society, on this earth, on this day, which we intend to bring into existence by any means necessary. All power to the people.
Make some noise for him up. Alright, so before we leave, we have one more representative from the Moses Harris family who would like to speak. So it's Tina? Yeah, fucking right. Make some noise.
How y'all feeling? I know y'all are cold, and I'm gonna try and make this brief. My name is Tina Degree. I live in Lowell, Massachusetts. But I also have an organization which is CAGE, which is C-A-J-E, which stands for Community Advocates for Justice and Equality. I founded that organization with two other friends of mine, Dan and Marissa. Shay, who's not here today. And the reason that I founded that organization is because I have black sons. My oldest son was murdered in 2006 in Lowell, Massachusetts. The cops still have yet to bring his murderers to justice. My youngest son was jumped by 3 police officers in front of me and my grandson in 2013. Little did he know, wrong kid, right mother. Because we took it to court. I didn't let him take an appeal. He didn't spend any time in jail. A jury of 12 white people found him not guilty. Then we turned around and sued them. Not for money, but to make a point. That's my child. That's my son. These young men right here, these are my sons. Whether I birthed them or not, they are my children. That young lady on the end, the same thing. I will fight for them the same way I'll fight for my own. These chants and everything that we come out here singing and we sing on Saturdays, they're not just chants, they mean something. When I say I got your back, that means I got your back. And I hope when you say it, that means you got my back as well. Because as a lot of these young ladies said, we got to do whatever it takes by any means is necessary. I'm going to give you all a little bit of history. Slavery started in 1619, which is 402 years ago. That was by a white man they called the White Lion. It took 20 Africans from Africa and brought them over to Virginia in Georgetown in this British-ass boat. That's when slavery started. Assata Shakur exiled to Cuba to avoid a life sentence in the United States, where she gave birth to her son in a federal prison, but she exiled to Cuba to evade going to jail because they were robbing banks. But the Black Panthers also started the WIC program, the free lunch program. And these white people seem to forget that. We started this. And as this young man said earlier, the one from DC, we did start this shit. And we will finish this shit. And I mean that by any means necessary. So when I'm fighting for my children, or even for your children, I didn't have to quit a job because I started my own organization at home. So I fight for my kids. And Lowell police know they don't like me because they know I am a force to be reckoned with. Whatever I say, I mean. And when I do say it, I do mean it. And I support each and every one of you if you gotta go up against the law. But I also armed myself with criminal justice because I know what I'm doing. That way when I go in the courtroom, that public defender's not fighting for my son, I'm fighting for my son. He's taking direction from me. I'm using him because that's what they want to see in the courtroom, and that's fine. But he's going to take direction from me. There we go. And the same thing with Moses Harris, he disappeared on December 19th of 2020. This young man had an altercation with his girlfriend, who does it, whatever. And she called the cops. Cops went to the house. Moses wasn't there. I'm giving you guys a brief synopsis of what happened. She called him back around 2 o'clock in the morning. They said they went to the house. He wasn't there again. They found him in a parking lot. He was parked in his car. A 23-year-old officer approached him. So let me tell you something. 23 years old, you're approaching a young man, a young black man. First, you have to be 21 to take the police exam. And you also have to wait to be placed if you pass the police exam. So I'm giving y'all a little bit of background here. Then after that, you do 6 months in the police academy. So in total, he had about maybe 3 months, 6 months training. When I did work, I worked for the Department of Youth Services. I'm also a crisis intervention trainer. And I also train people, my staff, to restrain and de-escalate situations. And I'm telling you that because I'm trying to paint you a picture. So this cop pulls up, confronts Moses. They said Moses got out of his car. First and foremost, they gave the family about three different versions of what happened. They said Moses got out of the car. He got down on his knees with his hands up. Then he proceeded, no, he got out of the car. The first story was he got out of the car with his hands up. He walked backwards into the Concord River. He walked 450 meters, which is about a half a mile, backwards into a river.
Bullshit!
How do you walk backwards into a river? So, but then the next story was he got out of his car with his hands up. He got down on his knees, but then he jumped up and he ran into the river. Again, Moses Harris was petrified of water, and he also didn't know how to swim. So, and then again, this is December 19th, which is the winter time. He's a black man. I don't know any black man that's running into a river in December 19th. And it's cold as hell. And no, we don't enjoy the water like y'all do, and we don't enjoy it getting cold. I'm sorry. So then the next story was he got out of his car with his hands up. He was on his knees, wasn't listening to officers' commands. Again, he ran into the river. Really? No. So, again, we asked for footage. So in Lowell, the Lowell police do not wear body cameras. They refuse to wear body cameras. They've been refusing for a long time to wear body cameras. My organization actually had a forum and a panel about them wearing body cameras. The people that made tasers offered to give them body cameras, and they still refused. So what does that tell you? They don't want their shit displayed. They don't want it in public. So they also do not have cameras in their vehicles. And they're saying, so then they displayed a camera from, they said it came from an iPad or whatever. It's a 10-second video of the cop pulling up to Moses. Moses did get out of his car. He did have his hands up, and he was getting on his knees. But his hand is also going like this. So the cop was pointing something at him. Some punk-ass lieutenant in the local police station wanted us to believe it was a taser. We don't know what it was because we weren't there. All we know is that there's a young man going to his knees, but also pointing his hand like this, like stop pointing at me and going like this. So the cop obviously had something in his hand that was making Moses in fear of his life. Moses did get up. Moses did run, as you see in the video, but the cop was running with him. Only one person came out from the bushes, which was the local police officer. So, and then they're saying that they called in rescuers, they called in divers, they called in the state police, they called in the firefighters. Now, mind you, the location they found Moses, there's literally a firehouse 3 seconds up the street. So if he went in that river willingly, wouldn't you have called that fire station? They would have had divers in the water. They would have retrieved his body. Moses' mother still does not have a body to bury.
Fuck that!
They still have not retrieved his body from that water. They said they swept the river. It is going on 3 months. 90 days. And they said they swept this river. Concord River goes from Lowell into Lawrence, into Newburyport. But they stay in the same area with a drone. As they said, they swept the river. How do you stay in the same area? I'm not a explorer of water or whatever, or aqueducts or whatever, but you don't stay in the same area. The body floats, right? The body floats. So, but my thing again is that then, get this, the mayor of Lowell called Moses' mother and said the confrontation between your family and the police is not good. Then she called him again and said, well, maybe if your family stops yelling at the police, they might be apt to go out and search for his body.
What the fuck? Fuck that!
First and foremost, my thing is he didn't even offer an apology to his woman. He didn't even say, I am sorry for your loss. He said the confrontation between your family and the police is not good. If you stop yelling at the police, they might be apt to go out and look for your son. First and foremost, I'm a taxpayer. They work for me. When I'm telling you to do something, when one of my staff members don't do something, I have a problem. So yeah, I got a serious attitude. And right now, I got a problem with them because of this young black man that they still have not retrieved from this river. They still have not given the mother the truth. They told the mother there's transparency. They're transparent and they communicate daily. I talk to this parent, I talk to that family every day. Louise is at my house all the time. There's no transparency. Local police don't call her. Local police don't communicate. Transparency? Oh, what transparency is there? We'll give you a 10-second video. We know whatever happened that day on December 19th took longer than 10 seconds.
Yeah, that's right.
They also do not show the video to the end. So if you had nothing to hide and you called in first responders and divers, you would see that at the end. So why'd you clip the video? So my thing is that if you want the truth, and they're protecting their brother in blue because they still haven't told the mother who the cop was, the officer involved. We still don't know who the officer involved is. We don't know anything about it. They said they can't release the police report because it's a domestic violence situation. It's ongoing. How is it ongoing when you don't have this young man? He's not here. He's not here to defend himself. Mind you, the female that called the cops is living in his damn apartment. So excuse you? Again, and they're upset about this. But the city council in Lowell, no leader in Lowell has called to apologize to this family. No leader in Lowell has taken a step to do anything or to make this right by this family. But what I tell the people every Saturday, because we march every Saturday, from 12 to 2 p.m. So if y'all want to turn up, come out, we definitely want the support. Because like I said to the mother, I don't care if I'm standing in front of Lowell Police Station by myself, we are going to get answers to what happened to her son. So if I gotta make noise by myself, then that's what I'm going to do. But throughout the week, and I believe someone said it earlier, we need to call Governor Baker. Our voices is power. Our voices is our weapon right now. Each and every one of you that are over the age of 18, you voted for these people to get in office. Yo, tap your mom, tap your dad. Can you call Governor Baker and let them know we want a federal investigation? And at this point, I want the Department of Justice to come in and investigate the Lowell Police Department. Because they are not telling people the truth. Several murders have happened in Lowell. But on top of it, you said you sent divers in. Ever since Moses' disappearance, there's been about 4 other rescues where people have gone in the river. And they've been pulled out of the river. So a car, they sent divers in after a car, a Land Rover, a white, blonde, 5-foot, whatever woman, blonde hair, blue eyes. Her Land Rover ended up in the river, and they sent divers in for a fucking car. Why is a car more valuable than a life?
Fuck that.
But the difference is, that's a young black boy. She's a white woman. That's the difference. My thing is this, and again, like I said, we need to make these people work for us. And if they're not working for us, they get their ass out of office. Each and every one of us has the right to vote. That is how you let these people know what you want. This is how you get heard. Yeah, we can burn shit down, we can build it back up, but that's wasting our time. Your voice right now, pick up a phone and dial the number. Pick up a phone and call Governor Baker. Governor Baker, as a matter of fact, we called him. We asked for a federal investigation. We asked for the FBI to step in. He turned around and told Moses' mom, well, his assistant, not him himself, but his assistant, we can't do that. You're the governor of Massachusetts. Why the fuck can't you? You explain that to me. Laurie Trahan's office still haven't contacted this family back. Elizabeth Warren's office, well, let me give it to Laurie Trahan. Laurie Trahan, well, Lowell Police is actually doing their job. They're not doing their jobs. If they was doing their jobs, I wouldn't be as mad as I am today. They're not doing their jobs. And then on top of it, the Lowell Police, they're using intimidation tactics. They want to sit there, and now they're sitting there looking at who's coming to protest, and they're like, oh, blah, blah. I told them, you know me, I'm seeing a degree, yeah. You remember my son Devontae degree that y'all's punk asses jumped and thought he was going to jail? Yeah, that was my son. So you can run my name all you want. So while you're at it, like I said, we need to put them to work. They're not doing anything. We're always going to have peaceful protests. I'm not going to let all of this, everywhere we walk, everywhere we go, it is our First Amendment. Amendment. This is public property. They told us we can't be on their property. Sure we can. They barricaded the police station because they're a bunch of bitch-ass cowards. They don't want to deal with us. They barricaded the police station, but they still got to come outside. The last time they were there, this young Marshal, Nate, the cop got in his face, telling him to back up. I was like, no, you back up off of him, because this is public property. We ain't going nowhere, and we're going to be back again. And like I said, it's every Saturday at 850 Lawrence Street, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. If y'all want to pull up, please pull up. Pull up. And let them know, because Lowell, they said it's a little city, it's a quiet city. It's not. It's a racist city. It's very racist. And I'm here to tell you, I've been in that city for 40 years. I've been fighting for young black men for 25 of them, ever since my son started getting in trouble. And trust me, like I said, I'm definitely a force to be reckoned with. And I'm not stepping down, and I'm not stopping until my very last breath. As long as there is a young black man that is in trouble, even an older black man, because my husband's black too, he's a martial artist, so he uses his hands. I'm not gonna do that because he doesn't want me to, but the other thing, my thing is, I use my voice. This is my power. And it works every time. I've gotten, as my son would say, what are you, another Assad Shakur? I'm like, no, I'm not. But what I'm not going to do is let them violate young black men, older black men. Before I was going to DC, I seen a cop pulled over on 38 in Lowell. It was a young black man. And the cops, there was 2 cop cars there. Normally, for my son, from the last time they called the cops on my son, 6 cop cars pulled up. I was like, damn, wow. Okay, so this was 2 cop cars, and the young man, you could see that he was nervous. So I pulled over on the side, and I got out, and I leaned up against my car, and I started recording. And the cop was like, you can't do that, why can't I? Did you pull him over legally? What is he doing? And the kid's like looking at me, shaking his head like he doesn't even really know why he's being pulled over. So I stayed there recording. He's like, you have to leave. I'm like, no, I don't. Yeah, you do. No, I don't. I'm gonna stay right here until you finish doing what you're doing. I said, did he give you a right to search his car? He's like, well, no. I said, well, then you need a search warrant. So why are you searching his car? And I asked the kid, did you give him a right? I'm yelling this from across the street. Did you tell him to search your car? And he's like, no. I said, so why are you searching his car? Unless there's probable cause, they have no business in your car. And they definitely have no business in your glove box unless you told them to. Other than that, they need a search warrant to be in your glove box. They need a search warrant to be in your trunk. So then I guess him and his other partner there, whatever, started talking, and they told the kid, oh, just slow down the next time, and they let him go. So I'm like this, when you see young black men or even older black men and you know it does not look right or feel right, pull over and start recording. That's the only way this is going to stop. All this racial profiling, pulling over black, Hispanic, Asian kids for no damn reason. My son, yes, he's 28 years old. He loves music just like his mother. He got it honestly. In his system, you can hear from 3 miles coming around the corner. But there's no reason to pull him over. Like he said, just give me the ticket and keep it going. But they want to harass him. And every single time we fight it, and every single time it gets dismissed. Because there's a bunch of bullshit, and I'm not gonna play this game. You wanna waste my time, then I'm gonna waste your time too. But the thing of it is, like I said, if you see something going on, pull over. They can't tell you to go anywhere. They can't tell you gotta leave. You don't have to leave. They can't tell you can't record. You can record all day long, all you want to. The thing of it is, they use this stuff to intimidate and make people afraid. We need to stop being afraid. We need to continue to unite, because the fear is they're afraid that we're gonna rise up, and we are gonna rise up. That's right. And we need to rise up as a family, in solidarity. You know what? It's great when we stand up and support each other, because they know that we will become an entire force to be reckoned with. They can't stop it. As long as we unite and stop fighting one another, then they'll back the fuck down. We're not backing down. They need to back down. So continue to support each other. Come out and support Moses Harris, the Harris family, the Harris Waco family. This is Moses' young brother right here. This is his brother, Jacob. You know? Come out and support us. Like I said, it's every Saturday from it's at 850 Lawrence Street from 12 to 2 p.m. And like I said, we're gonna be marching and we're gonna continue to march until we get answers about what happened to Moses Harris. Nobody just disappears. That's bullshit. Nobody just runs in a damn river, like I said, especially not a black man in December 19th. Especially not a black man that doesn't know how to swim and is petrified of water. I'm not buying that. They can sell that shit to somebody else. It is. Because I'm not buying it. And they need to also produce the officer that was with them. The last person that seen him alive. He's the only one that came out. Why didn't Moses? Those are things that need not go unanswered. We need answers, we're demanding answers, and we're gonna get answers. So like I said, if all y'all wanna come on and support, I would appreciate it. And thank you for your time, thank you for inviting me. God bless.
Next up is Moses Harris, y'all. Okay, so with that being said, this action is officially over. Okay? You ain't gotta go home, but you gotta get the hell up out of here, okay? So this train station's that way, this train station's that way, this train station's that way, this train station's that way. Make sure you bring a buddy. Make sure you go home with a buddy system. We do mutual aid every Friday over by Melanie Acasa, Mass Avenue. We do mutual aid every Friday, so if you're interested in giving back to the cause, come on Friday. Other than that, thank you, Dorchester Art Project, for these speakers. Thank you all the volunteers for holding the banners. Thank you all the marshals for making sure we're safe. And most importantly, thank you all the protesters. Without you, none of this would have been possible. With all that being said, adios. Peace. If you've got a banner, can you do me a favor? Can you roll it up, if possible? Can you just roll it up and make sure we get it back?
So thank you for tuning into
Please?
this
Thank
evening. Looks like they are wrapping up. Oh, sorry. They're wrapping up this demonstration here. The last lady who spoke had some really good points. I don't know if she knew it, but she was basically saying First Amendment auditing. She said pull over if you see someone being stopped by the police, and to record and to document and to audit. That's what auditing is just holding the police accountable. You know what I'm saying? At any level. So thank you for tuning on to the Allen Report this evening. I am in Boston, Massachusetts. Please super chat, PayPal, Cash App, because these excursions are not free. So thank you. We have more to come. I am not going to be in Minneapolis this Monday. It's the first hearing there. Funds are too small to get out there. However, I'm planning to be out in Minneapolis closer to like April, May. So hopefully all goes well and we can be out there documenting. Thank you for tuning on to the Allen Report, and until next time, stay safe out there. Stay warm, especially. It's freezing out here in Boston. Come to Boston, come in the summertime. Do not come in the wintertime, all right? Love y'all. One love. Appreciate you. Shoot me an email, theallenreport@theallenreport.com, if you think I need to be in your city to do some documenting or interviewing. And I'll make it happen. So I'm out here for the people. Thank you for tuning in at home. Love you. Peace out, y'all. And actually, before I go, I'm actually going to read some of your comments. The comments were off. So let's see. Let's see what we got. Northeast Native, thanks. Top Ramen, always a pleasure to have you. Glower, you're funny, man. You're right, Vines. I know, Glower, I know.
Who are you with?
I'm sorry?
Who are you with?
I'm independent, man.
Oh, yeah?
I'm not with anyone.
Oh, cool. Glad to hear about it.
Yeah, dude. I can't believe how freaking cold it is out here, man. Jeez, I'm from Rhode Island.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Right, so you came up with that. Were you live streaming for them?
I was, yeah, the whole thing, man, yeah.
Huh.
Are they over? They're not going anywhere else, are they?
No, I think it's just people dispersing.
Yeah. That's what I thought too. Yeah. Do you have like are you independent too, or?
Yeah, I just come from the area.
Nice, man.
Yeah. You with an organization down there? Because
In Rhode Island?
Yeah.
I mean, not really, no. I mean, there's a lot of activists in Rhode Island.
Yeah,
but...
we're trying to get some people down there. I mean, just people I've talked to in the Boston area. We're trying to get, more regional connection.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. Did you want to like get my info or anything? Or?
Sure, yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay, guys, signing off here. Signing out in Boston. Take care, everyone. I will keep you guys updated. One love. Shoot me an email if I need to be in your city to document or audit. Love y'all.